Hi guys! Today I'm excited to share this braised pork recipe with you. It's absolutely delicious and so easy to make. All you have to do is just marinate the meat, pop it in the oven, and you'll get incredible results. I serve this with creamy, cheesy mashed potatoes drizzled with the juicy pork gravy. The mashed potatoes are silky smooth, and the meat is incredibly tender and juicy. It just melts in your mouth with rich, complex flavors. Let's start cooking. In this bowl, we're preparing the marinade for our pork. Let's add 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon onion powder, half a tablespoon of oregano, half a tablespoon of rosemary, 1 tablespoon of thyme, 1 tablespoon of paprika, half a tablespoon of black pepper, 1.5 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and lastly, 1 tablespoon of salt. And then give this a quick stir to combine. Alright, the next thing we'll do is marinate our meat. Here I've got a little over 3 pounds of pork shoulder. It's been patted dry and is now ready for marinating. First, I'm going to use mustard as a base to help the marinade stick. Just use your hands and spreading it all over the pork. I recommend using pork shoulder for roasting because its high fat content keeps the meat juicy, while the connective tissue breaks down during cooking to make it tender. Now, let's spread the marinade all over the pork. Don't be shy with it. Coat the pork generously on all sides. You can start roasting after an hour of marinating, but I prefer deeper flavor, so I'll leave it in the fridge overnight. The next day, before you start roasting, prepare by chopping an apple and a white onion. If you have small apples, use 1.5 or 2. After chopping the onion, separate the layers. Put both the apples and onions in the roasting pan and evenly spread them across the bottom of the roasting pan. Do the same with the garlic. I'm using 1 whole bulb. Here's our pork shoulder, marinated overnight. Now we're bringing it to a pan to brown. Into the pan, add about 2 tablespoons of oil and use a brush to coat it all over so the meat won't stick. Place the pork in the pan and let it sit undisturbed so it can brown. Then flip it over and do the same on each side. Repeat for other 2 sides. Once all 4 sides are browned, we can now transfer the pork to our prepared roasting pan. Alright, let's cover it and place it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 3 hours. If you notice the bottom getting dry during cooking, add a bit of hot water. While we wait for the roast, which we have plenty of time, we are going to start on the cheesy mashed potatoes. Here I have about 6 potatoes and chopping them into chunks. After cutting, place them in a pot and submerge them in cold water to prevent them from turning gray. After we take out the roast, we will start cooking them. Checking on our roast, after 1 hour, this is what it looks like. You can see some juices coming out from the apples and the meat. And here's the 2-hour mark. Since I'm using the juices for gravy, I'm going to add about half a cup of hot water to the roasting pan. 3 hours have passed. Let's take it out and let it rest on the stove covered for about 30 minutes to an hour. Starting on our mashed potatoes, bring it to a boil on high heat, then reduce to medium-high and cook until the potatoes are tender, about 20 to 30 minutes. Once the potatoes are cooked, drain them and add about 2 tablespoons of butter and an egg. Then use an electric mixer to blend them until almost smooth. Now add about 40 milliliters of milk and 100 grams of grated Parmesan cheese. Then start the mixer again and blend until smooth. Now let's move on to the gravy. Pour everything from the roasting pan except the pork into a strainer. If you're new here, welcome! And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. As for the juices, see how much oil there is? I'm going to remove as much as possible, then add the juices to the blender cup and blend until smooth. If you prefer, you can leave the oil in. Add 70 milliliters water or more if you want thinner gravy. Blend it until smooth. Pour the blended gravy back into the pan and heat it on low. Your gravy should now be ready. Our meal is ready to serve. Look at this meat! Smells amazing and is so tender and moist. It's still very hot even after resting for 30 minutes, so be careful when handling it. This dish is all about contrast and depth of flavor working together. The pork shoulder is rich and deeply savory, with a beautifully browned caramelized crust that brings slight roasted sweetness and a hint of spice from the marinade. Inside, it's soft, juicy, and almost melting, thanks to the slow roasting and the fat that keeps it moist. The gravy ties everything together. It's bold, meaty, and slightly sweet from the roasted apples and onions. It carries all those pan juices, so it has a deep, concentrated flavor that coats the pork and mashed potatoes. The cheesy mashed potatoes are creamy, buttery, and smooth, with the Parmesan adding a salty, nutty richness. They act as a mellow base that balances the intensity of the pork and gravy. Thank you for cooking with me. Try the recipe soon and see you in the next video.